I'm here to give a special shout out to my girl Nessa Noel. This is episode 97 of Late Night Q&A, and I'm sure it's going to be a big one. ZodWriter has been waiting on the right time to interview Nessa, and they have a lot to discuss. So get ready, people in the chat, and on the much appreciated replay crew, you guys are the best, and this one is for all of you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Late Night Q&A with ZodWriter. This is episode 97, and with me I have Nessa Noel, but I think she's having technical difficulties. I'm not sure. We'll see in a moment. Nessa, are you there? Oh, okay. It'll be a second here. Hello to everybody in the chat. Thank you for being here. There's Nessa. Oh wow. Okay. Nessa, did you catch the beginning of the show? I mean the AI clip.
Oh man. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. Did you catch the AI clip at the beginning of the show? I think let's see. Integrity says he's finally here on time, and we know what's inevitable. Nessa, I think you froze again. Good evening, good afternoon. Hello, Sin Havoc. We got a packed house today. We got a packed house tonight and a frozen Nessa. All right. See how everybody's doing. What's up, Adega Outlaw? Good to see you, my friend. Charles Austin, always a pleasure to have you here as well. Yes, Kevin Clausen, internet issues. A $2 super chat from Kevin Clausen. She's pretty nice guest. Nessa is awesome. I think she's just having internet issues right now. That's all. What's up, Costello? Let's see. We've had quite a. This has been quite a week. Yes, I know. Nessa is frozen. Hopefully we will have this. We'll have this fixed momentarily here. Okay, Nessa says that her Wi-Fi is acting up, so we will wait a moment here and see what's going on. Yeah, exactly. What a week it's been so far, guys. Definitely a lot of great stuff going on. Absolutely. It's just another day in the life of a DC Snyder fan. Absolutely. Control F5. Oh. I do apologize for the delay, everyone, but internet issues are just a fact of life. We've all had to deal with them. Let's see here. Oh, well, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed that. It's always a pleasure to have Rob on as well. Definitely. I just can't believe that we're here at episode 97. I've been waiting for this one Got a couple more episodes to go, and we'll be at episode 100 with a special mystery guest that nobody is going to be expecting. I can tell you that right now. Integrity says it's probably my fault. I'm finally here on time and I jinxed the show. No, Integrity, it's not you. You didn't jinx anything. Bad internet is just a fact of life. It happens. Let's see. The 100th episode is where I am right now. I am really, really looking forward to episode 100. I think you guys are going to be very happy with the guest for episode 100. What's the difference between Iron Man and Aluminum Man? Iron Man stops the bad guys. Aluminum Man just foils their plans. That's a good joke. Sin Havoc says ZodWriter has been delivering the goods. Continue the great work. Thank you, Sin Havoc. I appreciate it. I appreciate you all being here again, and thank you for bearing with us during these internet mishaps here. The internet definitely has a way sometimes of slowing down progress, but I appreciate everybody being here. I'm sure. So I think Nessa went to reset her internet, and she will be back, of course. Again, guys, as if I didn't remind you at all, and I know I already have. This is episode 97 of Late Night Q&A. I'm just so excited to be here doing this episode because, again, getting to episode 100 is a milestone, and I'm definitely happy and just excited for the fact that the show has gone on as long as it has. I might have to. We may end up starting this up again, guys. Pretending like we didn't already start the show. I don't know. Integrity 101 says Zod has had some great interviews over the years. I always think back to the interview with the gentleman that wrote the Batman play. Great stuff. Oh yeah, you're talking about Roberto Williams. Roberto Williams is definitely was definitely a very, very thorough interview, to say the least. Integrity. I probably spoke a total of maybe 3 minutes the entire interview. It was pretty awesome, to be honest with you. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, Marcus Neo Sevens. Marcus, you're another one, man. I'm gonna have to get you back up here with me for another late night Q&A in the near future when you have some availability, because it was fun. It was also fun having you on late night Q&A. I had you on. Almost everybody, here's the thing. I've been trying to reach out to pretty much everybody in the community to have on late night Q&A. Like everybody that and I've had so many people that are all, and that's one of the main reasons why I reached out to Nessa, because of the fact that I hadn't had her on yet. I'm trying to get to 100, but want to make sure that I get everybody that I haven't. So yeah, there's not too many to go yet. I got Mr. West Ashley coming up next week, and then I have one of my home arcade buddies, Retro Ralph, the following week, and then we have episode 100. And as long as the guest for episode 100 is available and is going to be able to maintain that, that date and time, episode 100 will stay that date. I believe it's April 17th. If not, it will be moved, because episode 100 is a big one. So I want to make sure that it gets handled properly. Sin Havoc, ZodWriter, have you seen X-Men 97 yet? I have watched the first 2 episodes of X-Men 97, and I was pleasantly surprised at how great it is. I really enjoyed it. I think it's on the right track, and hopefully it's a good sign of things to come. I definitely want to see more of X-Men 97, and hopefully they will continue to keep it in line and in tone with the original series, which astonishingly, these first 2 episodes were perfect. Like they just seamlessly integrated with the original series. I mean, you even have after the first episode, when they do the second episode, they even start off with previously on X-Men. So, all right, let's see where we are here. I think we might have Nessa back. Let's see. See if Nessa's made it back. Still not back yet, but here we go. Oh my God. Are you here, Nessa?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh my God. Finally. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. You made it back. So how are you? And welcome to
I'm
Late Night
good.
Q&A. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And I went back and in preparation for this interview, I scoured the internet looking for all of your material available that I could watch, that I could consume to talk to you about from your acting career and all of these things. I like to be very thorough, and I like to go in and find. I mean, I was looking at like short films and your film reels and various things that you've been involved in, and you do have a movie that you starred in, which I I'm amazed that at the I was amazed at the availability, because I was trying really hard to find everything. And when I came across this movie, and it had you top billing star, I was super excited. And I watched a little thing that you did where you talked about wanting to do a horror movie. Have you always had passion for horror films? Looks like you froze again. Oh no. Well, on that note, we'll just wait a second here. We'll wait for Nessa to clear up. Nessa froze on a smile, so that's awesome. Two antennas met on the roof. They fell in love and got married. The wedding wasn't much but the reception was great. Okay, there we go. We got the bad guy Mike Worley in the chat. Good to see you. It's okay, Nessa. Yeah, I have no problem, with waiting for these internet issues to iron themselves out. It's just a pleasure to have Nessa here. All right, you're still frozen, but um, the bad guy. Okay. I think you'll be pleased with the surprise guest. I don't want to give too much away as to who that surprise guest is going to be, because if I give a hint, you guys will know who it is already, I think. Magneto is a beast indeed. We got South Cali guy here. Yes. We got PD7 in the chat. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, man. I just watched your most recent video where you were talking to the dog about Arcade 1-Up prior to my stream. So that was an entertaining video. I the fact that you have that kind of a conversational relationship with your dog is really, really special, Phil. Never change, bro. That was awesome. Wow. I'm so excited. Okay, let's see here. Nessa restored. Not quite yet. Nessa's not restored yet, but hopefully she will be. I guess $2 from Kevin Clausen. Hi, Nessa. You pretty. Well, Nessa's frozen, so she'll be back. Oh, so fresh. Neo Sevens, did she freeze or is she acting? No, she's definitely freezing. That's for sure. Mr. West. Anyone nerd out over X-Men 97? I did today. Yeah, X-Men 97 is a worthy successor. I can't say it enough times. It's a worthy successor to the so far anyway. So far it's a worthy successor. I mean, it's blending in seamlessly with the rest of the show. I'm really hyped. I definitely want to see more. I cannot wait. Oh yeah, you definitely got to check it out, Kevin. Charles Austin says, Nessa, you better pay that internet bill. Okay, X-Men 97 was dope. Absolutely. Here we go. There she is. Nessa.
I'm just going to use my phone because it's not working on my...
Okay, well, that's fine. I notice you have a green screen behind you.
I do.
You're definitely an actress. That stands out. Like, I was like, wow, yes, cool. That's perfect. That's perfect. Since we're gonna talk a little bit about your filmography here. So that kind of I am so excited. So, like I was telling you before the frozen Nessa,
Yes.
I was looking through your filmography, trying to find all your material that I
Right.
could find, and I came across your movie,
Mm-hmm.
The Birth of Deceit.
Right.
And you said that you'd said in one of your interviews that you'd always wanted to do a horror movie. So I guess the first question I have for you is, what attracted you to that project?
So I did grow up watching a little bit of horror, and even though I'm like a scaredy cat, I still wanted to be part of that genre. So when I got into acting, it became something that was part of my bucket list. So I was like, all right, hopefully one day I can get that, just like fall into my lap, or I get to audition for one. And then I remember there's a site called Backstage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of actors use it. Charles, I did. So I remember the director just messaging me on Backstage, and he's like, "Oh, like you have this look that I'm looking for. I'd like you to audition for the role." And I was like, "Oh shoot, like hello universe." So I ended up auditioning for the role, and let me tell you something. Auditioning for horror is not easy at all. Like you have to pretending that you're scared when there's like nobody there to scare you or anything like that. That's hard, but it was worth it because I did like 15 takes, and then I decided on the last take that I was just gonna just wing it. And I was like, you know what, if I get the role, I get the role. If I don't, I don't. And then like maybe like a week later I get the call, and it was like, yo, like 30 people auditioned and yours was the best, and then the rest is history, and I got the role. But yeah, it's something that was just on my bucket list as far as genre, and I just always wanted to do it, and I was able to do it. So
I have to say that I really loved your performance in this movie. I thought you did a wonderful job. I thought you carried your character well. I thought everything was I the only thing that I was, my thing was, I kept saying, because I watched this with a couple of friends of mine,
right.
and the one thing we kept coming back to was, well, Nessa was great in this movie. And we kept saying that over and over again. And it was just, and it just stood out to me that, like, wow, out of the whole movie, it's like, yeah, Nessa was great in it. It was a very creepy movie,
Mhm.
and I really feel like the name of the movie should have been called Creepy White Folks. That's what I think the movie should have been called. I honestly don't. I honestly don't really. At that point, I was trying to figure out why is it called The Birth of Deceit?
Yeah.
Creepy White Folks would have worked out perfectly for the movie, and it could be, what? There's a movie that came out a while ago that's streaming right now, and I don't know,
Mhm.
and it's aptly named, and it's called Karen.
Oh,
It's about a racist white lady who,
yeah.
you know, and it's so funny because I was getting those types of vibes from this movie, but
Mhm.
just like even worse,
Yeah.
like even more creepy and depraved and just wild. And so I mean, did you have to, when you auditioned, did you get to read the script beforehand, or were you?
So, no, I didn't get to read like the full script. I just got like a what you call a side. So they'll
Mhm.
most of the times you get when you get an audition, they send you a side. So they'll send you like basically a specific scene that they want you to audition for the speak for. And the scene was like that I got was like really creepy and weird. So I was like, oh crap. How am I supposed to do this? So I didn't get the full script until after I got the role. So normally
Now,
they don't give you the whole script then.
now were you as creeped out in the movie as the audience is supposed to feel when they watch this? Because I mean, you're obviously supposed to feel uncomfortable,
Yeah.
creeped out, and just overall icky by the movie in general. And I
Yeah.
just and so I mean, if that's what they were going for,
Hmm.
they 100% succeeded. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, we really were just like, wow, I cannot believe this.
Yeah.
But it was just like, to me, I kept thinking, wow, I just creepy white folks.
Yeah.
Like, I did that. Like, there was nobody in the movie that 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 acted, um that did anything normal except you. Your character was the only normal character in the movie, all things considered. I mean, your
Hmm.
character had issues, but when you compare you to everyone else, it was
Right.
like wow.
Yeah.
I mean, so what was your favorite aspect about starring in this movie?
Oh my God. So this was my first feature, like major feature film that I did. So if I'm being honest, everything was like astounding to me. Like we got to, location. We shot this movie in Pennsylvania, and they had like this beautiful house. So the house that you saw that we got, it was like kind of creepy, like the location, the look of it, and I was just like, okay, I see why they chose it. So it was fun. It was like we shot it for 2 weeks. It was like the best time of my life. Like you got to bond with the cast and the crew, get to know a lot of people. A lot of us met each other like on set, which was really cool. um it was just a fun experience. Like I wouldn't change it. One of the best times I've had, honestly.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
how was your experience with the cast and crew and everybody and the director,
Oh, it was
for
it
your
was
for your first starring feature? I mean,
it was cool. Everyone was really good. The actors, the actors that played the couple, they were they were really
yeah, I'm not giving spoilers, but I'm just, for those that want to watch this movie, it is available on Amazon Prime, and
Mhm.
it is also available on Tubi
Right.
for free with ads if you don't have Amazon Prime and want to watch it. It's called The Birth of Deceit, but It should be called Creepy White Folks.
It was really good. Everyone was such professionals. Like everyone on set was great. The director, he's the most challenging and intense person I've ever met in my life, which is great. I love working with people like that. I like people who know. I like working with directors who know what they want and know their vision. So it was great to be working with someone like that. Everyone was just great. Like it was fun. We got to have fun, just joke around on set, but also like just be in this real cool horror. So it was really good.
That's great. That's great to hear that you had such a wonderful experience on that movie. I often wonder how how like very first movie experiences like that are. Like if
Right.
because honestly, if you would have had a horrible experience
Mhm.
on that movie, a lot of times if I've noticed that some actors and actresses I've interviewed in the past that will say, well, it wasn't really the best experience or whatever. And if they talk about that, then they don't really end up doing too much else
Right.
because that kind of sets the tone for their career moving forward about how they feel about working with movies because they think if they had that bad experience, it's going to carry over to other
Right.
projects, I guess. So I am so thrilled for you that that turned out to be great, and that the movie turned out to be as creepy and wacky and wild as the director envisioned.
Right.
Because I was left floored at the end of the movie, and I
Yes.
thought to myself, well, since we'll give one minor spoiler, since one of the creepy white folks survived at the end of the movie, I'm wondering. I was like, I wonder if they're going to try to drag Nessa back for a for a second one.
It's so funny that you say that because we've actually spoken about it, the director, and a lot of people have actually asked like because of the way the ending is. People are like, "Oh, like are you guys going to come back? What's the deal with that?" So, listen, I would love to do a second one, honestly. But it's entirely up to, producers and the directors. So, we'll see in the future, maybe.
Yeah, I would definitely be there for it. I don't know how much creepier they can get after the first one,
Right.
but I think with the way things were left at the end,
Mhm.
that you could definitely set up something that would be compelling, definitely for your character and the mother of your character being reunited at the end. Again,
Yeah.
spoilers, but not spoilers. I mean, my God, if you haven't seen Nessa Noel's movie The Birth of Deceit, what are you doing here? You should definitely have watched that movie before this interview. I mean, that it's a prerequisite at this point,
Pretty
and
much.
it's one of the few major Nessa projects that you can you can watch, and have in full, and really enjoy. South Kelly guy wants to know, which horror movie franchise would you like to be in if you are given the chance?
I would love to be in like the Conjuring franchise. I wish they continued with that. James Wan is really good at doing horror in my opinion. The Conjuring one is one of my favorite horror movies. That, excuse my language, that shit is scary as hell. That movie
Yeah.
was scary as hell to me. So I think I would love to be part of that like franchise there, that horror franchise. And second would probably Scream if they end up doing like 8 or 9.
I would love to see you leading a Scream movie.
Really?
Like,
Oh,
that would be
yeah.
amazing. Like, and this is the one thing that I took away from The Birth of Deceit. Like,
Mhm,
you are a superstar. Like if you got the opportunity to be in like a big horror franchise like Scream or Conjuring or Nightmare on Elm Street or something huge,
mhm.
you would kill it. And that's, and you could tell that from the way that you acted in this movie, and some of the other things that you've done too. But I mean, this really gave a good indication of the kind of range that you have in as an actress. I mean, there were some scenes in that movie, like the creepiest of scenes. I mean, I can't stress it enough, guys. This movie was really creepy, and there's a scene with you and the older creepy white lady where
Mhm.
she's playing with your hair. And in that scene, you did some of the best acting. I mean the look of like uncomfortableness that you had, and the whole idea of you just being like, wow, this is like the most horrible situation, like the contempt that you I mean, it was beautiful. Like, I was like, wow, this is like almost like you were telegraphing all of this to the audience to make sure that we felt as creeped out as you did.
I'm thank you, because I'm glad you feel that way. Part of, well, my goal with the movie was to make sure, because it was also like a little bit of messaging, if you notice, with that particular scene. uh you know um I don't want to spoil anything, but like, black women with their hair type of thing.
Right, right.
So it was, I'm glad that you felt that way as an audience, watching that film, because that was one of the main goals, to make people feel that uncomfortableness and that creepy vibe added to it. So that really made me happy that
Yeah,
you noticed that.
I I was looking for all these different aspects to, and you could tell in the movie, like when you were having fun in like the lighter moments, and the very few lighter moments that did exist between you and your friend in the movie, your friends.
Hmm.
And but more often than not, the majority of the movie was uncomfortable, disrespectful, and I like that you brought up messaging, because there definitely was messaging in the movie, and it definitely conveyed it very, very well. And I just think the moral of the story is just stay away from creepy white folks. I mean, it totally just fits.
Lord.
Like, there's no I mean, okay, there's a scene. I'm sorry, guys, I can't get away from spoilers having Nessa here on Late Night Q&A talking about this movie. I have to mention some things. I mean, there's a scene in there where your friend is delivering some mail from
Yeah.
your grandmother
Right.
to the creepy folks' house,
Hmm.
and she goes, and instead of just leaving the mail in the mailbox, or leaving the mail there,
Right.
she somehow, and for some reason, feels it necessary to basically sneak into the house and like skulk around and like explore. I mean, who does that? I mean, I know your character would never do that.
No.
And I don't know about you or me, but most people that I know would never do anything like that. I know I would never do anything like
I
that.
would never do that.
It's
No.
only it's only a certain subset. It's a trait of certain types of people. And I it's just like accentuating like certain stereotypical aspects
Right.
of certain people. People that want to drive closer to the danger.
Yeah.
Like they know that there's a house fire, so they
Right.
so they drive, and so instead of getting further away from the house fire, they want to drive as close to the house fire as they can get, and literally be in the door of where the fire is occurring.
Right.
And I've never been able to understand that, but it's a certain type of people that choose to do that. So I'm just like, okay,
Oh man.
that's but that in particular was a scene that really irritated me. And then when she finally, I guess, saw what she needed to see,
Hmm.
she just leaves the mail on the counter and skips away, and then tells you about it the next day, as though this is supposed to be normal behavior. And my question to her would have been, I would have been looking at her like, well, why were you did you do all that in the first place? Like, what? It wasn't necessary. And the grandmother was creepy too, but
I
not
think the
but
whole
not as creepy as the white folks.
right. I think the whole point of it was the fact that it's supposed to be like a small town. So like
Yeah.
I guess that played into it why she would just decide to do that. So I think that's what the I believe that's what the director was going for. Like, oh, small town, everybody knows everybody's secrets kind of, and people people basically people know business. Like you can't walk down the street without somebody not knowing something or somebody coming over. So I think that was the point.
Yeah. Well, they definitely conveyed that point perfectly
Right.
because it definitely, I mean, right down to like the whole about the whole, how the whole town was basically corrupt in the sense that even the even the police officer that was on your side was corrupt in his own way, and he was also kind of creepy. So I just thought about it like, wow, this entire movie, with the exception of Nessa, is creepy, corrupt, and abnormal. This is perfect. It was like you were in the Twilight Zone or something. Like I would have wanted to get out of there as quickly as possible. It would have been time to move and never look back. Like
Yeah,
after that scene with her, with playing with your hair,
yeah.
that would have been it. I would have told Oogie, I would have been like, Oogie, it's time to get out of here. Period. We're done. This there's no point in even staying here.
Right. In reality, I wouldn't be caught dead. Sorry. that's
Yeah.
that's not me. So
That's not you. What would that then that's a question I have for you, since you're, and since you played it so well.
Mhm.
What would the real Nessa have done in that situation? Like what so let's something about you. Like how would you have handled it?
well, I mean like just the same background, just me though.
Yeah, but just you. Let's put you, Nessa Noel
Right.
in this situation, not the character you played, but just, how would you have handled all of that nonsense? Would it have even gotten to that point? Because
Oh, well, let me tell you. If if we're talking in the sense of just me replacing the character, same background and everything, yes, I would love to know more about, my parents.
okay.
But as soon as I see, because my creepy vibe be on 100, I'll tell you now. As soon as I see something weird, I would have been gone. Like the she wouldn't have been even able to touch my hair. Like that would have not happened. Like we wouldn't have gotten there. It would have been like maybe from the time I got to the house, the scene where I'm riding the bike,
Hmm.
from the time I got to the house, like I think that would have been the straw for me from there. Just the way she was just like really creepy from the time I rode the bike to the house to getting in there and then leaving. Yeah, I would have been gone by then.
The moment she started talking to you and giving you, from the moment when she gave you that camera, that for me would have been enough. Like I
Yeah.
honestly thought, man, this is the type of person I'm dealing with here. The creep meter would have just been just all going off like red alert in your head. There's like
Yeah.
no, and I mean, there just was something off about them from the beginning. There was never a moment where you even had a hint of normalcy. It was almost as if the idea was to make them as creepy as possible from the get-go. So
Mhm.
there was no way that you could find any redeeming qualities from any of them
Right.
apart from you and Oogie, and the maybe the other friend who was sneaking into houses. I mean, you know, I'm glad you had a great time, and like I said, I thought you were amazing in it, and I just hope if there is a sequel, I'll definitely be looking forward to seeing it, because I think you'll only completely outshine everybody in the movie, just like you did this time. So
Yep.
it's incredible. I'm just glad that they gave you a character that wasn't creepy. They gave you somebody normal that you could actually act
Right.
and be likable,
Right.
because that's very important, to be a likable character in a
Mhm.
horror movie filled with nothing but unlikable characters.
Right. Right.
Bad Dance Thoughts wants to know, Nessa, would you join Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey franchise if you got a chance?
Um, I haven't seen it, honestly, um, because I didn't know about it, but not if I had the opportunity, yeah, I would take it. I don't see why not. It's a horror movie. As long as it's creepy and give me that scariness, I'll be a part of that. I think being in horror in general is really fun. It's really fun.
And Kevin Clausen wants to know, says, "Hi, Nessa. What acting goals do you have? Specific genre? Work with someone? Play a certain role? Just curious on your thoughts."
Oh, okay. So okay, this loaded question. Let me see. Acting goals is I think it's always been the same for me, just to make movies in, different genres, whether it's to make people cry, people laugh, people hate me, people love me. Uh, it's always been that goal. Um, Specific genre that I really want to do is sci-fi. Um, I think it would be
Yes.
awesome to be part of sci-fi. Um, I'm just waiting for the opportunity to come. Once I see it, I'm jumping on it. Uh, as far as working with someone, there's a whole bunch of actors that and directors that I want to work with. I'd love to work with Taraji P. Henson. I'd love to work with. Um, I think Idris Elba is great. Also, I'd like to work with him. Zoe Saldana, she's like my favorite person. uh, I'd love to work with Zack Snyder. He's easily become one of my favorite directors to work with. Antoine Fuqua, Ava DuVernay. Like I have a list. um, and certain role. Uh, I'm trying to be in the. I don't know if you guys seen, but like I pinned it on my Twitter. It's like I want to play Storm. So yeah, I want to play
I
superhero.
was going to ask you about Storm. That was going to be my next question. So thank you. Thank you for making this transition easy. Now, with the recent premiere of X-Men 97,
Mhm.
the revival of the original X-Men
Yeah.
animated show.
Mhm.
Were you a fan of the original X-Men animated series?
Yes, absolutely. I grew up watching it all the time. So
Okay, so
it was very exciting to see. I just actually watched the first two episodes today.
me
So
too.
I'm very surprised. It was really good so far. So far so good. Um but yeah, I definitely grew up watching it. So
So
and Storm is my favorite character.
I I'm gonna say now, like, with Storm being your favorite character,
Mhm.
I not only could see you in the role as Storm, but I think it's perfect. I mean, you have it pinned on your, like you said, you have it pinned on your Twitter, and that looks amazing.
Mhm.
What would be the look that you would prefer, predominantly, if you could have your choice of any look for Storm as she's been over the many decades?
I would love the long flowing hair. I think she looks the best with that and the black and gold. I love that look. I think that would be awesome if I could play that role and have that. the black and gold, I think that would be ideal. And I'm not opposed to the white suit either. I think that's phenomenal. That would be like my second pick, but I would love the black and gold for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, you know what? I hope this happens. I think it would be perfect, and it would be great, and it would be great as a, to see you go from, from starting and doing all these movies to just jumping into a major superhero role like that. I think that would be awesome. And I'm gonna be praying for you.
Thank
I hope you get that role, because that's that would just be
you.
fantastic.
Thank
So
you. Because,
out of all the superhero roles that, Storm would be your number one.
hmm for sure. I think I've been wanting to play her for like, oh man, since I think since they first had the first X Men movie, and shout out to Halle Berry. I think she's phenomenal. Um, yeah, since I first saw her on screen, and I'm like, oh, she needs her own, like her own movie or her own show. Like for the longest time, I was hoping that they would do that, and I think finally they are. They're starting to. If I could be wrong. I think I've seen like little chatter around that they want to do a Storm series. So I hopefully I get the opportunity to audition for it, you know, and you know, let's just put it out in the universe, manifest.
Absolutely, absolutely. I couldn't have said it any better. Manifesting it through the universe, telling the universe to make it happen. Absolutely.
hmm
Uh, do you have a favorite final girl from horror franchises?
Mm, favorite? I don't think I have a favorite, honestly. And you're talking about people who've survived, right? Like
Mhm.
pro-
Yes.
I mean, I don't have a favorite, but if I was to go at the top of my head of what I liked, uh, maybe Neve Campbell in Scream. I think her story was pretty cool, and her surviving every franchise was cool. um, but I do think Melissa Barrera. That's how you say her last name. I think right.
Oh yeah, from one of the most recent ones.
Yeah, yeah. I think she would have easily taken that spot if whatever happened didn't happen with that franchise. I think she would have easily taken that spot, but I don't have a favorite though. Sorry.
So now you mentioned Storm being number one for your superhero. Who's a superhero you'd like to play in DC if you got the opportunity to be a DC character?
Oh God. So um it's so funny because a lot of people I see have been saying that I should play Vixen. And I think her character is pretty cool. And now that I've seen her like not too much in DC, but I know a little bit of her background. I think that would be cool to play Vixen, like with the amulet and being able to uh have the ability of all these different animals. I think that would be cool to do. I don't see why not. It
Yeah, yeah, that would be fun. That sounds awesome.
is.
Um, so is there a character right now that you're actively trying to get for a major franchise outside of the superhero genre?
um, right now, I wouldn't. There's not a role that I'm trying to actively get. Right now, because I have so many. I have like a movie that I'm currently uh gonna start filming next month, and then I have another film. So right now, I'm not really focused on uh getting a major role in Hollywood per se. Just focus on what I have right now and just being able to execute it. Because trust me, when you have like these many roles, and I have like two like thick scripts that I have to go to through. So right now I'm not actively. So Nessa got them glasses. Yes, I do, TJ. So I'm not actively trying to get into like Hollywood. I don't have that mindset, if that makes sense, of trying to be in the Hollywood, if that makes sense. It's just
Oh,
my
it makes perfect sense.
yeah. It's just my mindset is just on focusing on just my acting career and just becoming successful in it. Just and then if it happens, I get into Hollywood at the same time. That uh that would be perfect. That would be great. But right now, just focusing on my work and what I have going on in the next few months.
So more independent stuff, like Birth of
Yeah,
Deceit,
pretty.
stuff that's good, that gives you an opportunity to hone your craft.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not to
Uh,
say that if I didn't get an opportunity for a Hollywood role, I wouldn't take it. I, I would, but yeah, my focus is just on the craft itself.
Kevin wants to know here: have you ever used your acting skills to get out of a tricky situation in real life?
That's hilarious. No, but I can tell you a little funny story. Not to get out of a situation, but I remember I had an audition like years ago, and I was on the train and I was preparing for the audition. And the role was like she was kind of like this going through something with like her significant other, and I'm just like in my I'm just memorizing, putting myself in the character's shoes, and trying to find the character's motivations and whatnot. And there was this elderly couple who was sitting across from me, and they're looking at me, they're like, "Oh sweetie, it's gonna be okay, like you don't have to worry." And I was just like, "Oh, nailed it, I nailed it, I fucking nailed it." They think I'm like going through something, and I'm not. I was just reciting my damn lines for the audition that day. So I guess I wouldn't say I got into a tricky situation, but I definitely made that elderly couple believe that I was going through some shit. So
It shows you have acting chops. It
yeah.
works. That's great. That is awesome. So you were getting sympathy, and now did you let them know that, or did you just roll with it?
I, absolutely, I did not let them know. I rolled with that shit. I was like, yeah. It was so funny. I couldn't wait to tell people.
Batman's thought says, Nessa, you got to see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. It's a masterpiece, and I think you would be fantastic.
Thank you, Bad Dan, and I will definitely check it out. Where can I watch it though? Do you know?
It's isn't it? It's pretty widespread. I'm wondering if it's on. I think it's on Amazon. I want to say that it's on Amazon
Mm.
now. Let's see. Let's see for a second here. Blood and Honey. It is on Prime Video.
Oh, okay.
There's other. I'm sure there's other places to see it, but you know what? I'll send you a link
Okay.
somewhere too after the show. Let's see. Integrity 101 wants to know: would you like to play the killer in a horror film?
Yeah, I can see myself playing a killer. I've I've actually played I didn't play a killer, but I played like somebody with psychotic tendencies. So I think that works hand in hand. Yeah, I wouldn't
Was
mind.
that was that one of the roles that's on your acting roll? One of the characters, is that in your
What, in my reel or like
reel?
in my what do I have in my reel?
I'm trying
No,
to think. I'm trying to think because all I remember. Trying to remember all the different characters you played in your reel.
in my reel, I don't think it's in my reel, but I do have like a oh, thank you, Sin. Um it's not in my reel, but I have played that role before. I think it's It's really cool. It's not easy playing a psychotic person. And I'm not a psychotic person in real life because I know some of y'all like to say that, but I'm not. It's actually hard to get into that type of mindset to play that type of role, in my opinion. It may be easy for some, but
Okay, well, Integrity 101 says, do you prefer really challenging roles that push you to your limits? Or I guess I'll say easier roles that feel more like a perfect fit for you?
I prefer the challenging roles. Um, I think they're the ones that, for me, um, best hone my craft. And for me, I know I still got it. So I prefer the challenging roles. I wouldn't have a problem playing like a crackhead. To me, a crackhead's like a challenging role. Like I don't know anybody could like I have you ever seen a crackhead in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be a challenging role to play, or like
It would be. I think it would be too. But I think you could pull it off
yeah. And or maybe some
with the right makeup and then the right expressions
or
and
or
man and
with
mannerisms.
yeah, or someone with multiple personality disorder. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's a challenging role. That is, I think that's something that I would definitely love to tackle.
Well, you definitely learn a lot about that from dealing with all these crazy people online, Nessa. I mean, definitely people with a lot of uh, multiple personality disorders and stuff like that. So it's sort of the now do you see a lot of okay when you're on social media and you see how we deal with all kinds of fakes and idiots and crazy people and all that. Do you take any Have you taken any of that stuff that you see online and applied it to any roles that you've played?
I take everything I see and apply it to my.
Okay,
It's
awesome.
it helps. Like even like I've taken certain like taken acting classes, and I've seen like certain actors and their mannerisms. I'll use it. Something like a maybe somebody who's like a narcissist. I've taken that. Um, like it's yes, every person I interact with, I take a piece of them with me to my auditions and to my roles. Like if it applies.
Okay. And Bat Dan wants to know if Gunny Poo were to cast you in his DCU, would you accept?
Oh Lord, why'd you go and ask me that, Bad Dan? Oh Jesus.
I mean, you're an actress, so you have actors have to eat, they have to survive, and if they
Yeah,
get
yeah.
offered a role, it's kind of like it depends.
Yeah, I mean, if I have the opportunity to audition, I would never turn down an audition. Like, so.
I mean, sometimes actors have have to be in projects that they're not
Hmm.
really passionate about,
Yeah,
but you know, I would consider James Gunn anything with James Gunn to just be a paycheck film
I can see. Yeah, I can see why you think. Yeah.
more so than like something that you're really passionate about. Like if you got a chance to work with Zack Snyder or Anton Fuqua or any of
Hmm.
the other directors that you mentioned.
Hmm.
Um, you know, science fiction wise, you mentioned earlier too. What type of sci-fi movie would you like to be in?
Like it could be something like with aliens or
Oh yeah, awesome.
something in space, like something like that, where you're like under in other planets, visiting other planets, something like that. Like, um, freaking Rebel Moon, like that shit is beautiful. That's something that I can definitely see myself being in. It's just so like otherworldly. It's just somebody who has the creative that creative mind to put all of that together, I'd love to be part of that. So that's what I'm thinking about. Space, aliens, whatever you want to, time travel, shit. I'll do it.
Wow. Okay. Now I have an idea
Mm.
for a time travel movie that I'll share that. I'll share that with you later.
Okay.
Um, Kevin Clausen says here another question for you: are there any scenes or roles that you would never do?
Um. Okay. So let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to see. I mean, I guess anything that like involves like that I have to take all my clothes off, I wouldn't do. That's something that I wouldn't do. Um. No, I don't. I don't think there isn't. Maybe. Okay. I'm not too fond of like. I'm not a big fan of comedy, and I have done it. I'm sorry. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm not a huge fan of comedy, and I have done it. So maybe that I would limit that, but not to say I would never do it again. If that makes sense. I'm not like I'm not super picky, but I am uh very careful with what type of role I take. So I don't know if that answers your question, Kevin.
And Integrity says, forget Gunn, we'll get Zack to cast Nessa in Zack Snyder's Justice League 2, which of course is inevitable. And
Thank
and for that, I really hope that happens. I hope that in your career you do get an opportunity to work with Zack and all the other directors that you want to work with, because
thank
you
you.
definitely have, you know, the acting skills to pull any characters off that you want to be. And
Appreciate
I'm just super excited. I'm a big fan of yours, just based off of how the things I've seen you in, and the way I've seen you. It's exciting, and it's just great to see, you know, where you may go with your career. There's so many different paths that you can take and stuff.
that.
So it's just exciting. It's just exciting to even be talking about it like that. Um, I so I guess now I should move over a little bit to the Cell campaign
Mm.
and all that. Now, how did you get involved in with Cell ZSJL, the Netflix Cell Snyderverse to Netflix? I mean, I know you've been a Snyder fan. Have you been a Snyder fan since the release, the Snyder Cut days, or is this something that you kind of came on to later? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I seen Dawn of the Dead years ago, and I
Hmm.
didn't realize at the time that it was Zach who did it. And then I think Sucker Punch is what got me because I thought that movie was amazing. I went to the theaters to see that. So I love that. But when I had found out that they were doing the whole Man of Steel, because I remember seeing the teasers and stuff like that, and I was like, "Oh, this looks phenomenal." And then I remember that Zach was attached to it. I was like, "Oh, I definitely want to see that." And then when BVS is easily my favorite movie of all time. I love that movie. Um, so when I got, anyways, not getting too much into it. With the whole release the Snyder Cut thing, we I remember, getting hyped to go see Justice League, right? I was like, oh shoot, we about to get this great movie. And I went to go see it and I was just like, and I was so confused because I was like, I don't think this is the movie. Because the trailer, I noticed the trailer looked completely different from the Justice League. And then I started seeing people who noticed the same thing. I just went on Twitter and I saw that people like noticed it too. So I was like, okay, I'm not bugging. And I think maybe like a few weeks later, I just started seeing the hashtag and I was just like, yeah, like release the Snyder Cut because this is ridiculous. And everybody's just started putting stuff. And I was like, oh shoot, I didn't notice this too. So I saw everyone just finding things that they noticed that was wrong with the movie. And I just thought that it was really cool and dope that people were just coming together just to have this movie come out. And when we got the announcement, I was freaking out. I was literally freaking out. So that's how I got part with release the Snyder Cut. Now the Cell movement, um, I was upset that at the time that we couldn't get the Snyder Cut, and I was annoyed that they didn't want to restore it, because after seeing that movie, I was like, y'all have to finish this this man's arc. Like, there's no way you guys can see that and not want to finish it. And I remember going on a space that Sky was in, and somebody was, I think, was trying to derail him or trying to tell him to let it go or something, and he was just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, they don't want us over there, so we're just gonna take it to where Zach's at. And I was like, yeah, I agree. And that's how I became part of it. Like, I just love the way everybody was so passionate about the movement, and you know, from the banners and all that. And I was just like, yeah, I want to be part of that. So yeah, that's how I got into it.
Yeah, it's amazing how organic everything has been from release the Snyder Cut all the way to where we are now, and it's, you know, it's just incredible and shows how much how much we all just want to see the story concluded. That's really all it is. It's amazing to me how a studio can leave so much money on the table based on their own egos, because it all really does just feel like ego to me
Yeah,
when you have, because it can't be about money, because they would have made money off of finishing the Snyderverse. I mean,
yeah,
it's not it's not really that hard to figure out. So
yeah.
I
For the record, Bad Dan, I love BVS Ultimate Edition. Okay.
see, so there you go, Batan.
Ultimate Edition.
You should be very, very happy. Oh my god. And Sin Havoc says it's sell or nothing. I
Absolutely.
completely agree with that. And as Sin Havoc and I have been saying from the beginning, just remember that Zack Snyder's Justice League is its own IP.
Yep.
I mean, uh, that's a key ingredient for Cell to succeed. Yeah. I'm so I'm like over here now just thinking to myself, if you were going to be in a science fiction movie tomorrow,
Hmm.
and they told you, okay, we're gonna give you a movie about time travel. We're gonna about alternate realities, alternate timelines, but it's gonna have a very creepy vibe to it. It's gonna have a bunch of incestuous white people. Would you do the movie tomorrow, Nessa?
Absolutely.
You know, as long as your character
Yeah,
is cool, you know, your character.
absolutely.
Now would you want to play an incestuous character?
Oof. I
I
mean,
mean,
it's, at the end of the day, it's
it's
acting.
acting, and
And
it'd be
I
a
like,
challenging role.
it is. And it's not like I'm in really, incestuous. So yeah. And the
Yeah,
more challenging, the better. Come on.
yeah, definitely. Uh, okay, Kevin wants to know, how do you feel about reboots?
I I personally don't care for reboots. My motto is, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So if oh, sorry. Reboots as in, are you talking about the whole, the rebooting of the DC universe? Is that what you're asking?
Kevin,
Or just like
be
in
specific. Are you talking about reboots in general? Because you know, Nessa's trying to be clear here when it
yeah.
comes to Snyderverse things here. You know that question, because that question from Batman was crazy about if you would work work for James Gunn. I mean, that's insane. That's like the worst question he could have asked, considering what we're all a part of right now. So it's kind of except Dawn of the Dead. That was a good reboot. Okay. There you go.
Well, if it, I feel like if it's already something that everyone loves, then it shouldn't get rebooted. But you can't
Like
stop.
the Crow, like the Crow.
Eh, um, I'm a fan of the original, so
Yeah, I'm upset about the fact that they decided to reboot The Crow, because that's a movie that the lead actor Brandon Lee literally died
yeah,
making that movie. So
that's
I don't understand why they felt the need to make a reboot with, using that character, and then doing I just wish that they would have did a different iteration of the Crow,
well,
created a new version of the character with a different name, and it told a different story, rather than trying to rehash that. So that's one that really bothers me. I'm taking it kind of personally, because
yeah.
I grew up loving that movie. I
I
remember.
It's unfortunately you can't really, these studios, they decide they do what they want to do. So what are you gonna
Yeah.
do about that?
How has your experience been with that? I mean, I know you've been doing a lot of independent movies, but have you ever been in a movie where, or had a role where you kind of disagreed creatively with where things were going, and you wished it would be different, or you actually voiced your opinion about something, or
Yeah. Actually, no, I haven't. Yeah, there are some things in like the certain character that I probably didn't, think would work, but I've learned that at the end of the day, if that's what they want, that's what they're gonna get. So, but nothing like major where I've like maybe spoken out about it. Um, I might have maybe given my little input or a little suggestion, but again, if they want what they want, that's what they're gonna get. So,
that's kind of the only way that actors can kind of get their point across, is
mhm,
making little suggestions.
yeah,
Like, because you don't really have any power. You're
yeah,
essentially a hired hand, so you do what you're told to do, unless it's something that you are absolutely opposed to doing. Sean Franklin wants to know, have you listened to the new Justin Timberlake album?
no, I haven't listened to anything Justin Timberlake since I think the what's that album that he came out with, the black suit and tie album.
I can't remember the name
Oh
of
well,
it.
that's the last.
I know what you're talking about, though. That's the
But
last one.
nothing recent from Justin Timberlake.
Bat Dan's thoughts with the $5 super chat. Thank you, Bat Dan. Says, okay, ZodWriter and Nessa, sorry for the gunny poo question. Here's a super chat.
It's
No,
all
Bat Dan, we're just messing with you.
it's all good.
Nobody's mad at you about the gunny poo question. It didn't really work with RoboCop 2014, but I don't have an issue with taking a shot at taking a shot at a new take on a franchise.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah.
And that's the thing. If you want to do a new take on it, that's great, but just don't. It's like it's like with Back to the Future. I think the writers and producers of Back to the Future actually have it in their like will, that
Okay.
the movies can never be remade.
Oh wow.
It's part of it was part of their contract
Right.
that you could never remake those movies. But I don't know if anything is sacred in this time that we're living in, honestly.
Yeah. It's I guess it's gonna be a while till we see originality again. So hopefully that happens.
What type of roles, speaking of originality, what type of roles are you most attracted to?
Um, I like roles that, like I said, that are challenging, that requires me to basically just completely immerse into the character. I love that. Like for example, the the movie that I'm gonna be working on next month, for me, it's like this role is my role is more of a leader type of role. So to me, that is a bit challenging, and just from reading the script and everything, uh, I think that that's something that I like, that I thoroughly enjoy. So I just can't wait for you guys to see it.
Does it take place in a zombie apocalypse?
No, it does not. But
The only reason I was asking, because for some reason, when you said in a leader type of role, for some reason, I was seeing you leading a band of people against a group of hoarding zombies.
that would be cool. That
I
would be
mean,
cool.
because I mean, the zombie genre has been done to death and is being constantly
Right,
uh,
right.
it's like beating a dead horse at this point. But like, I've even heard like they've even got like audio dramas and like podcasts where
Yeah.
they're doing drama. I mean, have you seen some of those where it's like they're based all, it's all voice acting and sound effects and music. Have you ever participated in anything like that?
No, I haven't, but I'm actually getting my toes wet with that. I've
Really?
Yeah, I've actually never done voice acting, and I'm currently right now I'm trying to get, into it. It's not easy, guys. That voice acting is hard. You have to have like I in my opinion like crazy talent for that. So respect to all the actors out there, honestly.
Yeah, like that's now for voice acting, what's one character you would like to voice in, say, like an animated movie or something? If you could do the voice, who would it be?
Mm. Dang. Let me see. If I could do one, I think you know what I'm gonna say.
I think I know.
It would be Storm.
Yeah, I do. I do it. I mean, and speaking of Storm, Storm had some amazing, no spoilers, but Storm had some amazing stuff in these first two episodes
Yeah,
of
you guys need to
X-Men 97. You
watch
guys
it.
definitely need to watch it. We're not going to spoil it here, but I have to say that I was really impressed with how seamlessly they decided to
Me
take
too.
that story, and they did a lot of great stuff with Storm. I
Hmm.
mean, she was great. I mean, it was wonderful. Sin Havoc, Nessa, would you like to do an anime project show film?
So I'm not too uh well versed into the anime world like that. I do know a few. Like I know of, I think Castlevania is cool. I've actually watched it, the series, um, only because it's vampires, and I think that's so cool. I like vampires.
Castlevania is awesome. I mean,
So, but I'm not too well versed on it, so I guess I couldn't really give you an answer like that. But I think Castlevania is cool. So,
yeah, I always say, who doesn't love Castlevania? I
yeah.
mean, it's a great stuff.
I It's so funny how I landed upon it and I was just like, oh, this is cool. This is a cool, really cool show.
Now, have you ever played any of the Castlevania video games?
No, I haven't.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a really, really rich history of Castlevania games, and most of them are great. Um, Integrity 101 says, are you a method actor? For example, if you were cast to play a fan of James Gunn in an upcoming film, The 45-year-old virgin. Would you watch all James Gunn films to get into character,
You
or
guys
would there be
play too much.
torture?
You guys absolutely play too much.
The 45-year-old virgin.
Oh my god, I can't. I can't. I plead the fifth.
Uh, very interesting to see where Storm's arc goes in X-Men 97. Castlevania is awesome. And Nessa, as an actress, what is your opinion on actors of a franchise throwing shade at other creatives of that same franchise? Like, for example, Smallville cast throwing shade at the Snyderverse. That's a great
Um,
one.
I think it's tasteless. Um, there's no need to be like you guys are all in the same industry. I don't think it's like I don't see the need to do that, especially if someone I don't know, everybody personally, but I don't think somebody has bothered to even say anything about you. So to go out of your way to talk about that person is just it's weird and tasteless, in my opinion. Hey, but do you?
Who is your favorite actor or actress that you have worked with so
Um,
far?
so far, oh, let me see, well, most of the actors I worked with are indie, but I
Mhm.
would say one person that I've worked with, you guys don't really know him, uh, but I would say Anthony Goss. I think he's one of those actors that he's a theater actor also, and working with theater actors are the best. They are so like into their craft, and they make everything better. So I would say he's one person I loved working with. Shout out to Anthony. Um,
Theater is a lot of fun.
it is
I
theater,
I
really good.
I I did some theater for the Chicago Shakespeare Company several years ago,
That
and I
is
will say that was one of the most fun experiences I've ever had.
that's nice. This is
You
true.
theater stuff is a lot of fun. It's
It is.
very
It is.
now have you done some theater too?
I have. I have. Um, this was we're in 2024. I did back in 2019. We were touring a little bit around the states, uh, New York, and we didn't tour too much, but New York, Maryland, and somewhere else I can't remember. And
Nice.
yeah, it was really cool. The the show was called "Will I Ever Get Married?" So it was really cool to do that. And yeah, I would do it again, honestly.
Wonderful, wonderful. Theater is, it's that's so great. That is so great to hear that. Are you now? You said you would do it again. Is that something that you're looking into right now? Is that something that you are like trying to get back into big time, or
It's funny. So yeah, I'm teaming up with the same person that I work with for that tour. We're gonna come back and possibly do another. So yeah.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. I guess I'm asking all the right questions here, Ness. I'm just trying. Wow, that's really great. That's really great. And Neo Sevens that says that theater was a fun experience for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that's ever had a bad experience who did theater. Everybody really because there's a certain kind of camaraderie you get with the people that you work with when you are involved in any theater production,
Mm,
like in the friendships and the bonds that you form with people that
yeah.
you form on stage with
Yeah.
it's just second to none. It's
Absolutely.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah, yeah, I'm completely there with you. So what have you got coming up next, Nessa? What's the big thing on your plate right now that you can talk about?
Oh, okay. So, as I mentioned before, I have two major projects that I'm um filming. One of them is a action drama, I would say. I would put it into that genre. I play the lead in that. And we start filming next month. And the other project is a supernatural horror that I'm also a lead in. And that's like filming in summer. Uh those are giving me a run for my money. But like I told you, I love a challenge. Um and I'm also producing my own thing. So I'll let you guys know more about it. I don't want to I don't want to say too much, but I am dabbling in producing, and this is something that's near and dear to me. So we'll see how that goes.
Any aspirations to be in any musicals?
I can't sing, so that's the
Okay.
big
Had, had to go there though. So
yeah.
just out of curiosity. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I am so glad that you agreed to come on here and talk with me tonight. It has been such a pleasure to be here with you. You are so awesome. And
Thank
I'm looking forward to um whatever you do in the future. I'm going to be a big
thank
fan, and I'm
you.
going to continue to be your friend and support you 100%. Again, guys, if you haven't seen The Birth of Deceit, I highly recommend it, but it is not for the faint of heart. There are a lot of very, very disturbing elements in that movie.
Yes. If you haven't checked it out, check it out now on Tubi and Amazon Prime, guys.
Amazon Prime. And on that note, before we go, I just want to play the opening from the show again, just for those that may have missed it. Here's the opening.
I'm here to give a special shout out to my girl Nessa Noel. This is episode 97 of Late Night Q&A, and I'm sure it's going to be a big one. ZodWriter has been waiting on the right time to interview Nessa, and they have a lot to discuss. So get ready, people in the chat. And on the much appreciated replay crew, you guys are the best, and this one is for all of you.
All right. So I wonder, do you know who that is? Or who that was supposed to be?
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
All right. Well, and hey, G-Force guy just says she has the best smile I've ever seen ever. Absolutely. You have a very bright and beautiful smile. Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It totally fits that you're an actress. Well, guys, I want to thank everybody for being here. Nessa is absolutely wonderful. This has been a great interview. I love you all. You guys, I mean, I'm close to 100 episodes. Next week, I'll have Mr. West Ashley will be joining me for Late Night Q&A. So that ought to be a fun and albeit probably controversial stream. But we're definitely looking forward to that. And again, thank you so much, Nessa.
Thank you for having me. And you guys are awesome. Thank you, Bad Dan, for all the questions and integrity.
Oh, yeah, integrity. Nessa in a sequel to ZSJL is inevitable.
I appreciate you. And don't forget, #sell ZSJL to Netflix, #sell Snyderverse to Netflix. I'd say it.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.